Dr. Shannon PT here today with another episode of Need to Know in 5. Today we're going to be talking about activities with Hativity. As a mom and physical therapist, like I mentioned, being out here in SoCal, my kids always needed the hat, and I was always carrying the hat and all of their other stuff with me. So I said to myself, what's a great way to turn this hat into some type of activity since I always had a hat with me? And poof, that's when Hativity was born. We custom make all these patches in-house, and so what we do is we come up with ideas, we talk to kids, we do focus groups, and see what interests them as far as topics and ideas. From there we do our drawings, and then we take them back to the kids for them to review them and tell us what they think about our patches and if they like them. And let me tell you, kids can actually be harsher critics than some of the adults and parents that we work with. They're pretty strict about what they like and what they don't like when it comes to the patches, even down to the faces. I'll show you this owl, for example. We had to redo this face 5 times to get the perfect look that the kids really thought that the owl was cute and funny versus a scary feeling. As you can see with all of our different patches here, we have a lot of really different cool textures. I wanted different textures and feels so the kids could get that optimum sensory experience when they're playing and interacting with the patches. And especially if you have a little one that really likes to touch and rub soft things or maybe carries a blanket around a lot, this is a great way to give an alternative to providing that soft sensory feedback without necessarily having to worry about losing a blanket or a stuffed animal. Because then the child can play with it, rub and touch it, and then just pop the hat back on. One of the fun things I like to do with Hativity, whether you're at home or you're out, a great game that you can play is take your hat and take a couple different patches, mix them up in here, and then you can kind of do like a blind bag pull where you mix them up and then have the kids pull them out. And you can kind of do like a charade. And so maybe they act out how to move like a ghost. And so they could role play that. And then the other kids would have to guess what they were trying to act out. Picking out something like the bunny, maybe they do bunny hops is a good one to also put in gross motor skills. Maybe they have a competition of who can jump the highest or the furthest in distance. So that's a great way to incorporate some gross motor skills. Elephant, great way to use different things as what sounds does the elephant make, or maybe using your arm like a tusk and moving it up and down. So again, here's some great ways that you're already out, you have the hat with you for that optimum sun protection, but how you can incorporate activity to also use it for other forms of activity to entertain when you're out. The other thing I want to show you guys is our activity patch book. So this is a great way to keep all your patches organized, especially if you have a bunch of different collections. And so the way this activity book is designed, as you can see, they're just strips of Velcro. So that way it gives a little bit of an edge to make it easy for the patches to be able to come on and off, but it is industrial strength hook and loop, so that way it will keep it secure in place. So that's a great way to keep track of all the patches. The kids can also trade them back and forth, like trading cards or like trading stickers, and fun and exciting for them to do. We also put the cord here, so great fine motor skill for them as well to be taking the pages apart. You can also add pages or subtract pages. Maybe you need a little less if you're going out and you want to put a little less in your bag. You can always remove pages. So some different options there that you can also use with the Hativity activity book. The last thing that I want to show you is how we use Hativity with aromatherapy and essential oils. So one of my daughters is very sensitive to smells. We have to be very careful when we go out to restaurants. We have to be very careful for, walking in certain areas of town where maybe there's strong smells, like trash, for example, that always gets us. Or maybe even with your traveling, you have a child that gets motion sickness very easy. Mine gets all those checks in the boxes. And so on top of all that, she's very sensitive to taking medication. So being a holistic approach and being into a lot of holistic things, I thought, well, how could I incorporate the aromatherapy that I was already using with her into Hativity? And so that's when we came up with using this idea of the removable patch on the front brim. So it works great because the front patch, is very close to the nose, but it's on the upper side. So then that way we're keeping the essential oils away from the eyes so we don't cause irritation. But what you can do with the Hativity patch is grab your favorite oil and just put a drop on the patch here and then put it right back on, and it's great because it's close to the nose and they get that really good aspect of the smells from the essential oils. So I have one here that I use for motion sickness. It's a proprietary blend, works great. Use that in the car. We use it at amusement parks, use it when we're in the airplane, carry it with me all the time in my purse. You can also do different things of carrying maybe like this blend is called Liquid Sunshine, and this is just a citrus and lemony blend, which is great just if we're going into like a seafood restaurant, for example. This would be something that I would add to the hat, so then that way my daughter's smelling something besides the seafood, because we know that that's not going to work for her. Another one too that works great is maybe your kid's starting to get a little tired, a little overstimulated, ready to take a rest or needs to unwind, take a nap. A little drop of something like lavender is great to also help calm the neurological system as well. So those are some great examples of how you can use essential oils. To clean these, all we recommend is just running a little bit of cool water over it and then towel dry, and it'll be ready to go for next time. This past week, I, like many of you, have been home with the kids, and my daughter came up to me and she said, "Hey Mom, I have another idea of what Hativity can be used for." And I said, "Okay, what? Tell me, what did we not think of?" And she said, "We're using it as a Frisbee in the home." That's all for today. Thank you so much for watching Activity with Hativity. We'll see you next time on the Need to Know in 5.